Whenever I see 1 over e and probability, I always think of derangement in discrete mathematics, specifically the limit of the ratio of derangements of n permutations of n. Welcome to Why Us, the podcast nobody else would do. Thanks to Invader Mixo for that wonderful intro quote. Joining me today is my co-host, waiting for Rain.
Hi, I'm Rain.
And our guest, Ryan.
Hello, it's me.
Oh wait, I fucked that up. Our guest, who you don't know the identity of yet, is a man from the Upside Down, who is an Apple certified tech who lives near monkeys. And I'm seeing something about a street corner on my notes here. I'm guessing that pertains to the monkeys. A man who brought a group of people together when they were disparate at the end of their rope, cast away by the bounds of their community that had once embraced them, and he brought them all back together to this place we know and love as WAIAAS. Please welcome Ryan.
Hello.
Hey, what up?
Hi. Not much, how about you?
I'm fine.
Yeah, no one asked you, Rain.
Thanks.
So, Ryan, what's the deal with your monkey street corner?
Okay, so the two are separate, but I realize now that kind of talking about this is doxable, so like don't do that. But there's a street corner and the zoo right beside each other, and the street corner is where all various things happen. So like one time some P-plater 19-year-old kid smashed into the back of like a big four-wheel drive, fucked his entire like shitty car up, and the four-wheel drive was fine.
Oof.
Another time a kid was riding a bike across the road, and there's like these buses in Perth that after like when school's about to be finished for the year, they drive around with kids just waving, like sitting on the top of the bus and like waving.
What?
And so they're all doing that and ringing like this horn that like makes music when you hold the horn in, so like enjoyable jubilee music.
Enjoyable?
And they're driving along, and I yeah, it's nice music. It's like uplifting for kids.
Questionable.
And then he was going around the corner here, and then a kid was riding his bike on the road really slowly in front of the bus, and the bus really slowly hit the kid and fucked his whole bike up, and like the back tire was bent.
Wait, but like
And the kid
how
just like it was
how slow was it if it fucked up his bike?
like I'm talking like slower than walking,
What?
What?
and he just like completely ran over the tire. I've got photos. I can like link
Wait,
them up.
so then what was the kid wasn't moving away from the bus?
No, he was like going really slowly. I'm like, but I'm watching it because exactly where I sit is eye level. I'm looking at it right now as I speak. It's
That's
just super
insanity.
slow, terrifying.
He's just hoping the bus would go around him? He didn't even try to get off its line or anything?
No, he was just super slow in front of it, yeah.
And then you're saying, not to dox you, but how many zoos do you know that have a street corner next to it?
Well,
Isn't that pretty universal?
the zoo has 4 corners, so I guess like you could go to each of those corners.
Oh, look at you with your square zoos.
Ooh, it's in the middle, like right next to the... Oh, fuck. Right next to the... I may as well finish. Right next to the city.
Huh.
Right
Let me see if
next
I
to
can-
the city?
Yeah, pretty much right near Perth City. There's a zoo, which is stupid as fuck.
Well, now you're doxxed. We can censor
Look,
out
what are you
whatever
gonna
is...
do? Good luck. Like, honestly.
Yeah, we'll take that out in post.
I would love to see someone come and say hi to me. Hold up a sign on the street corner and I'll take a photo and post it.
What if, for whatever reason, people outside of WAIAAS become enamored with this podcast and it goes viral, and then everyone
I
knows
just
where you
stand
live
by.
right now?
Stand by it.
All right,
Come
this
say
is
hi.
Ryan
Okay.
embracing any random stranger who wants to come say hi.
I can't wait to wear your skin, Raya.
Rain, do you have the template open?
Yes.
All right, you can take the next question.
So we know that you work for Apple. You've been working on phones and Macs and the like. And I can't imagine that being the easiest job. Can I get a fat cloud in chat? Was that you, Ryan, or no? There we go. So what's the worst problem you've had at your job as a certified Apple technician?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
No.
Oh, just a question.
Oh, yeah. What's the worst problem or the worst like situation you've seen?
Oh, like there could be like 3 categories to this one. If that's-
Oof.
Yeah, I was thinking about separating it into like what's the worst
Yeah.
customer you've dealt with and what's the worst like machine that you've had to work on.
Because we could go for 3. We could go worst customer, the most water damage, and then the kind of hardest job. If you want to do something like that.
All right,
Yeah.
yeah, hit us with all 3.
Cool. So let's start with, off the top of my head, would be probably the hardest machine. Oh, you could go IMAX just because they're such a bitch to put the Can we swear on this podcast?
No, fucking no.
Whoa.
Don't fucking swear on my podcast ever again.
All right. So this computer,
No, you're good, you're good.
right?
Every time you swear,
But when
Tack
you-
coughs in the distance.
So when you take
Go
the
ahead, Ryan, it's okay.
screen off the iMac, it's infuriating to get like the adhesive off where the iMac connects the screen and to the actual case of the computer. So then you've got to peel that off, and it once took me 3 hours to get one of the pieces off,
Yeesh.
just because it's so like ridiculous.
So there's an adhesive on the front, and that's what's holding the screen in.
So like you've got to use a cutter. If you have an iMac right now, go to it and tilt it so that you can see like the side of the screen rather than looking at it front on, and you'll see that the black of the screen is kind of like a couple millimeters thick.
Uh-huh.
And then I put like a cutter in between that, and then just it's like a circle on the end of the kind of the hand tool thing, and you just run it up, and it cuts it.
Would it be the same on the monitors that they had until like 2016?
Oh, yeah.
The big
those
ones.
Those are really expensive.
I've got a hand-me-down
I've
one of
seen
those.
them. Oh damn!
Them's is
I really-
thick.
I really want one of those. They're sick. Enjoy.
Oh, I'm enjoying.
Did you get your cable for it?
Yeah, I had to get an adapter for DisplayPort to USB-C.
But it arrived and it's all good.
Oh yeah.
Why do you ask about opening it?
What? No, I was just curious if, like, because you were giving the example that you could look at it to see what you're talking about. I was asking if it would be the same on that monitor.
Oh, I see. Trying to get everyone to look at their monitor.
It's right in front of me. It came to mind.
Tack's trying to change his wallpaper.
Yes. So what you want to do is you want to take the whole screen off, and then just put like some paper that you've printed behind there, and then just slam it shut. And if you just use tape, it'll be fine. I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Is it okay if instead of tape I have like this weatherproofing plastic? Can I just slap that on?
Honestly, if you just tilt the screen forward, if you can, that should be fine enough. You don't even need to bother with the tape.
Alright.
Would Flex Seal work?
I mean, silicon would probably work too. Or that like plastamate kind of stuff that you heat those plastic balls up and it melts. And you just press that onto the screen.
That sounds convoluted. So you mentioned something about water damage. Did somebody like drop their whole iMac in a
So-
toilet or something?
So I haven't seen liquid damage on an iMac yet. I'm waiting for the day because that'd be fucking funny. Like, do they just throw coffee at the screen or something? But I've had one that someone they came in just holding their laptop at like 10 a.m. and was like, I fell asleep eating yogurt,
Oh no.
and so
Oh.
I took it out the bag and I opened it up and I got a couple photos of it as well, which I'm sure they will be
Fantastic.
linked later. But
What
the
kind of
audacity
yogurt
that
was it?
people ask me, chunky, that's for sure.
Oh boy.
Uh,
Did it
hold on,
smell?
what?
Like, was it? How long had it been?
It was the night before. You would hope,
Oh, okay.
but it wasn't like moldy or anything, because I've had mold growing, and the customer denying that they've had mold growing.
Oh
And
no.
accused me of putting the mold in there, and I'm like, this is like weeks of mold. How do you think? What? Like,
Shout out to Ned, the sentient black mold that lives in Dave's house.
Yeah. This was all a conspiracy by Ned.
Ned strikes again.
So,
So did we
oh, go
there was
ahead.
Sorry.
one more,
Go ahead.
I guess.
over?
Yeah, the customer. Who's the worst
Oh yeah, yeah.
customer you've
Wrap
had?
this question up. I I really don't know, and I smoked a bit before this episode, so I'm not really wasn't focusing on that question. I was more on the other
Endearing.
storytelling. Let's come back to that. I'll have a think when we have the ad break, if that's cool.
Yeah, sure.
We don't have ad breaks. We don't believe in advertisement on this podcast.
That is patently false.
Money is a construct
All
by
the ones I've
society.
listened to, we've had ad breaks.
Wow, 3 whole podcasts. You think you understand our
I've only listened to
operation
2,
here?
So can't speak. Did you get rid of them in the third one?
Rain, how long have you been a collaborator?
Since the beginning.
For it's been what, 20 minutes?
It's been 20 good minutes. Thank you very much.
Who do you main in Smash, Ryan?
Ooh. Well, it would be Waluigi if Waluigi was fucking in Smash, because Waluigi's my shit.
Well, the reason he's not in Smash is so that everyone has different mains instead of everyone maining Waluigi.
You're both wrong. That's all I've got. You're just both wrong. I wasn't. That's not up for discussion.
Well, you tell us then, Rain. Who does Ryan main in Smash?
Oh.
Man tits. And then I
Fair
just
guess.
thoughtfully nod. Yeah.
That's it. Question answered. Next one. Chop chop.
Well, I guess that's the one question that's been on everyone's minds is WAIAAS. How did you come up with it? What's your story as part of one of the starting fathers?
This was completely Bacon's idea. Hence my passion for keeping him on the mod team, because he was the one who initially thought of the whole concept of the name. Classic dad joke. We were all built on a dad joke. I don't know if anyone's ever said this before. It's pretty much the perfect line.
No?
Well,
You're hearing it here first, folks.
Let me grab the... God, it's been so long. What's his username?
Bacon Witches.
Bacon witches?
Yeah.
Wow,
One day-
even I know that.
One day he'll return to the fold and enlighten us with another great acronym.
I'll see you at the next secret internet cult based on what Bacon comes up with. Bacon WAIAAS.
Let me just grab that quote from Bacon first. Oh. He said WAIAAS 120 times.
Is that the official pronunciation? You are one of the most prominent people in the creation of WAIAAS.
Well, I think Bacon ought to be the
the
go-to
person to
source
say.
for the pronunciation.
True. So I'm gonna go ahead and stand by WAIAAS then.
I don't think Bacon's ever really supported that.
Well, he's not here to say anything. While the daddy's away, the WAIAAS will play.
Wow, no, reading back actually, which funny story, I don't know if newbies probably don't know this, but General is the old General, like the one before the Archive General, was actually spam. And when we initially made Discord, it was all funky, so you couldn't actually the intro message, the one that welcomes people, you couldn't move what channel it was from, so we had to leave it in there, but it was getting really annoying. I think that was why we moved it and switched it to then make it just a new general channel. Is that correct, Tack?
That sounds accurate.
Yeah. But anyhow, we've got that Bacon said we should call it What Is This Place and Why Am I an Approved Submitter? And then Jess has come back and said, Why Am I an Approved Submitter is actually a good name for this.
Oh, see, my memory of
And-
Jess being involved wasn't wrong after all.
Yeah. But then officially, it looks like Bacon did come up with it. He shortened it just to the WAIAAS that we all know and love.
All praise the name daddy.
All praise the name daddy.
You'll have a lot of time to get good and get that link fixed up while we head on over to a word from our sponsors.
Is your life too easy? Do you find that you don't experience enough hardship to grow as a person? Do you love legumes? If you answered yes to any of these questions, I have just the product for you. Dr. Onobnik's Mean Bean Machine will fill your home with chaos and beans 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. For just 3 easy payments of $9.99.99 and the use of the biggest room in your house, my Mean Bean Machine will give you more beans than you can handle. Dr. Rodnomic's Mean Bean Machine. Get beans.
And in the meantime, let's legit take a break because I need another glass of water.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Take 5. Should we canvass the crowd, see if they want anything?
No. I don't want to hear any of their voices.
Suck it, crowd.
Jess,
But he
we
made
need to,
like
if we be really loud, it'll mean that Jess can cut it at the right time.
Well, it's good that he coughed like right as he left, so we have like some sort of marker.
I don't know how to. Oh, Google Photos is bomb. If you just search MacBook, it'll come up with every single liquid damage that I've taken.
Ugh.
Oh, I need to think of a customer thingy. Oh, fuck. No, I don't have one. Let's just pretend.
We'll just make one up. It's not like anybody here is going to listen to the podcast.
Just make it like pretend like we never come back to it.
What?
It'll be fine. Tack one. Oh, fuck, tax back.
Fuck tax back.
Halt, criminal
Nice.
scum.
Gotcha.
There'll be no conspiring on my watch.
You've committed
And
crimes against WAIAAS and her people. What say you?
I
I've actually
say,
got that
welcome back to WAIAAS, the podcast nobody else would do. Man, I walked upstairs to get water, and this like huge beetle, like at least the size of 2 toonies, just went flying by right in front of my face, and then hit the wall right above our pile of like recycling stuff we need to take out, and then just dropped right behind all that stuff.
For those of us who aren't Canadian, a toonie
Yeah,
is a coin
It's a large
about the size of
coin.
an American quarter.
No, it's a little bigger.
I thought it was like chocolate bar for some reason.
I mean, if that probably makes the story a little better. So you can imagine
Yeah, I
that.
was like, it's very thin, kind of.
Ryan has been sharing disgusting pictures of water-damaged MacBooks, and it looks exactly as described. It's like a train wreck inside of a small, confined space. That's awful.
Speaking of trains, seeing as they run along on their tracks, we should all run along over to the rundown.
What you running from? Who you running to? Ready to kick some ass? Yeah, bring a gun or two.
Speaking of math, that was the most convoluted. Okay, that's not gonna
Segue?
work because
Segue.
Yeah.
Modes of
yeah,
transportation.
segue. Yeah, gotcha.
What's happened on the sub this week, Rain?
Well, I've got for you. So the Waystbot has come up with probably the worst fight we've seen in its history of setting up random users as combatants.
For anyone just tuning in, when Rain says Waystbot, what he means is WAIAAS bot.
Yeah, I come with subtitles, so when you're reading the subcast later, the Wastecast later, you'll get it. And it's a battle between Jess, or this nickname, and Dave, former whale, who are the former power couple in Waste. And it says that Dave is able to demagnetize, which is an interesting power.
That could be pretty powerful. You'd be able to wreck a lot of important infrastructure.
But you could also wrestle with infrastructure, which is Jess's power there, and that just seems like it's more useful.
But maybe
Speaking
less
of
useful
which-
for deconstructing infrastructure. Wait, which kind of battle was it?
It just says a battle. It didn't even specify, so it could be a battle of infrastructure.
Oh man. Well, it would be a pretty interesting plot line to see these like top 10 anime power couple contenders going at it in a battle.
Right.
What are your thoughts on this, Ryan?
I don't use the sub, so I don't. I didn't see this post. I saw this post, but yeah, I don't. I made one post the other day, which was fucking hilarious.
What was your
Yeah,
post?
Personally, I did it at work, so I got paid to do this as well. So that's like the kind of kicker of the whole thing.
Well, if anyone should get paid to use WAIAAS, it should be its creator.
honestly.
Who's died more
Easy.
times than both me and Tack?
Well, a lot of people.
Me?
Well, yeah, actually, yeah.
I mean, I
Died a
kind
lot.
of wish we had like internal numbers still, so that we could see.
We should just have a death count, because then
I want to.
me and all the newbies could be 0.
Oh, I wanted to revisit the idea of a WAIAAS emeritus for people who have died several times. You just have it, we have a big badge of shame for them that says that this person has died so many times, but still keeps coming back.
Yeah. I think that would be a positive version of the counting system we had. Because it's one that enables us to laugh at all those fools who got kicked, like Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, Nin Monkey has been putting out some videos. He's doing a short little let's play of that game, Into the Breach, which is very much like somewhat like the weird love child of Faster Than Light and XCOM. If you want to go check that out,
accurate.
support our local agents. Oh,
It's a super fun game. I've been into it a bunch. I'm going completionist on it, slowly but surely.
so we've got Halftime, who is one of our local Discordians who has gotten missing, noticed by Pancakes, and I'll just give you the quick rundown. He became Seated Liberty is his new username, and that's about it. I padded that as much as I could.
Yep.
I really had to milk that one out.
Thanks for your solid detective work there, Ryan.
Anytime.
Tracking down all the clues, piecing it all together.
If you ever need to find me, just shine a light at the clouds above Gotham, and then call me.
And finally, in our rundown, Wizgo has been raising money to help hospitalized children. I'm trying to pull up the details because my memory isn't worth a damn right now.
We need to get you some new RAM.
Seriously, I need to download some of that.
Still running on DDR3.
Oh, there's the post. So Wizgo's participating in Extra Life again this year. This is her 5th year running, and she's raising funds for Seattle Children's. I'm guessing that's Seattle Children's Hospital. And there's a link on the sub if you want to donate. And I'm sure you can stay tuned on WAIAAS to see when you can tune in.
Yeah.
Whoop whoop.
Go and support.
Quality. This week's theme is anime themed. Saw a couple interesting characters out there. Apparently, Mojo and Togo are Naruto and Hinata, so they're married. And I am Kurama, which is either a nine-tailed fox or like a yaoi reject.
And I'm Naruto's dad, so I get a good spot in that weird family dynamic.
Classic.
Do you know me? I don't check the sub, so I have no idea who I am.
As usual, Ryan hasn't checked the sub, so he's Neji, and you just get to creepily watch from afar.
Explain to the non-weebs who Neji is.
I legitimately have forgotten a lot of Naruto lore, so I can't remember. I think Neji is the brother of
How much of this
Hinata?
theme is Naruto characters?
I'm the one who wrote it, so you can all blame me for this, which sucks because Sarah got Eren Yeager, and that's a cool character, but she doesn't want to engage in it.
Neji's life seems terrible.
Well, he has the
through his Wikia page. Jesus.
yeah, but he's also one of the strongest characters. He has the Byakugan.
Yeah, Ryan, he has the Bakugan. He can
The
morph
Bakugan.
into a circle.
Bakugan. Is that in Naruto?
The Byakugan. Bakugan is a top.
It's like a Bakugan, but you
your
also
eye.
ask why.
This has been Weebcast, the replacement for Weisscast.
Oh yeah, what's the other typical rundown thing that we didn't write down? The showcase. Peyton's got the showcase, so if you feel like enduring that, look at the Discord and it'll be there.
just want to note that he had the first temporary case, short case, or I don't know what we're gonna call it yet. But yeah, somehow the RNG decided to give him another case after his first 3 days of freebie case.
I'm
That's
getting
ridiculous.
this live from our live listeners. Sleepy Tomato says, "Wastecast, fire Rain. He's misusing the WAIAAS name." I wholeheartedly agree, and yeah, it's an iffy proposition whether Rain's going to be allowed back on this podcast after all this wasting.
Tell you what, I'll stay on until Bacon comes on and clarifies this. I want it straight from the horse's mouth.
Yeah, Bacon should probably take over as host anyways. He's our natural talent in the sub. And he's actually, that's some good WAIAAS news. He's actually maybe successfully selling his second house right now. So good luck, Bacon.
That's some good house selling.
I mean, he did say that he couldn't find any of them anywhere online. He said he found the husband, partially. So that's pretty
Did you say he found a husband?
Well,
He
the
found
couple
the
is
husband
buying
of
the
the buyer.
house.
Come on, Rain.
Come on, Rain. No, yeah, apparently their online identities are pretty well concealed, but he found some evidence that the husband is real. And
Was he, I want to say, a dentist?
oh man, I don't remember things.
Let's go with dentist then.
I'll take it. Speaking of taking things, let's take a trip over to the recap and recap the recap.
Stinger.
Cool. Can I do this too? This is, wow. The sub
Yeah,
looks cool.
You
Good
can
work.
chime
Yeah.
in on anything.
Is this
Wow.
the first time you've been on the sub?
I think ever.
Did you see the sidebar image for the theme?
Yeah.
That be
Looks good. Who made this one?
the art?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that one might have been Jess. Probably Jess because
Classic.
it's got Abigail in it.
Okay, yeah. It was Jess. That was easy to do. It's good work, Ty. Cool.
So this week on the recap, we've had 1 ban and 9 regular kicks. So that's a pretty good retention rate for the week.
Yeah, that's not that bad.
Maybe drama brings the sub together.
I think I've seen the shortest quote that we've ever seen for a newbie pickup. Marzipan Shibe just said, "Yup."
Yep.
Yep. Herpa
Someone else-
Derpa Don't says, "Stop hooking up with dirty people," which that's good, I guess.
A Thought
I mean,
in Theory got kicked, which I mention only because that's a catchy name.
That is a good one.
Someone's coming
Funkenstein.
here with another language. I don't want to say. I'm not up to date. I can't personally. I can't tell the difference between Japanese.
It's Japanese. It's Japanese. It's
you
Weeb themed
read it
this
for
week,
us?
so
That's perfect. How did they know? Can you
yeah,
translate
they know.
it?
Oh no, you can't go there. Don't go there.
Oh, okay. I'm about.
No, don't click on that.
Don't click
Well,
on it. Well, now I have to
I've
click.
translated what
Oh,
they said.
so
and they
I'm
also
in a
said-
couple other secret internet cults on Reddit, and this is a
Oh dear, what is this?
there's nothing bad on the page, but this sub is actually this weird sort of fan club for some of the top people who post or get karma on Reddit.
But why is it in Japanese then?
This is
I
crazy.
don't know, but we found it on Century Club, which is anyone who's gotten over 100,000 karma.
So the post that comment is in is mostly in Japanese, but it has 2 confetti emojis and the word Python in English.
I'm not gonna try and translate it. It didn't
The-
come with subtitles.
And
The
the
comment
background
that
is all
got
these
that
creepy
person-
dancing snooze. What did you say, Ryan?
The comment that got them pulled in to translate to isn't.
Isn't?
Isn't?
It does say is not. I'm sure.
Wait, you're cutting out.
Ryan.
It translates to is not.
Is not what? You keep cutting out right after that.
That's terrible. Is it not amazing?
Is it not amazing?
Is
Yeah.
Python not amazing?
It is pretty amazing. I think it's my favorite programming language.
Wow, chuckles in basic.
A nerd.
You're a nerd.
You.
Speaking of nerds, Invader Mixo's recruitment quote's pretty interesting. If anyone wants to have a discussion about derangement.
I have no idea what derangement means in terms of math. I just thought it was a good way to draw the ear in at the beginning of a podcast.
It's actually really easy to explain. Imagine you have a set, you have a bunch of individual unique items in a specific order.
Mm-hmm.
A derangement is the first permutation of the order where they're not in their original spots. Nothing is in its original spot from the starting point.
What do you mean by first permutation of the order?
Well, or you would say your first derangement, second derangement, so on and so forth. It's the first. I'm referring to. I guess what he's talking about here is the probability of finding that, of getting your first permutation in X amount of n. Or, I mean, a large amount of n.
So the probability that they would be in a different order if you put them in random orders?
Yeah, not only were they in different order, but they're not. No one's in the same spot that they started in.
Oh, none of them are in the same spot.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really big in game theory. It was solved by Bernoulli, I believe, at least once using his equations, but that's probably outside the scope of this podcast.
Sounds like an interesting problem, though.
Yeah.
Especially as someone who shuffles sets of numbers pretty regularly. I think anyone here who deals with programming at least somewhat kind of relates to that problem.
Also, one of our newbies is picked up from a not safe for work sub. I'm not going to say who for their safety and stuff or whatever. Also, because that nobody will click on it by accident. Not shaming the sub, but you don't want to click on that at work.
Our listener base is pretty solidly WAIAAS, and I think it's obvious from the comment if I'm thinking of the right one.
Yeah, movie details is not safe for work. 'Cause once you start clicking on it, it's like TV tropes. You'll get lost in it.
Exactly. You need to actually be able to do your job, and we're not going to try and hold you back from that.
Speaking of jobs, Ryan, have you ever used like a customer's computer to get on WAIAAS?
Nah, gross.
He doesn't go on
Can
WAIAAS.
you imagine the like?
Oh, that's right. You don't go on the sub.
Yeah, that's why I said. Ugh. I actually just have my keyboard that I put on top of the keyboard. I'm touching the dirty keyboard.
You kind of died at the end there.
I'm not touching their dirty ass keyboard.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah, sorry. Don't forget I'm in a hurricane.
Oh, so wait a minute. What do you mean you're in a hurricane?
Ryan constantly has a hurricane that follows him around.
Whenever we have to do like a VC like podcast or something, it's just super windy and rainy.
I'm super rainy.
Huh.
Because, yeah.
I thought you.
Thank
were
you for that
regular
one
Ryan.
chuckle. I had that name before I came here, and then I came in the middle of the monsoon season, so that was interesting.
What a tidbit.
Yeah, sorry. I guess we kind of went on a. Yeah, that could be your world news item that relates to WAIAAS or equation, because we have to go to do that. Can I get a world news stinger, please?
This just in. Hurricane strikes first. Will Ryan be okay?
A
Tune in
hurricane?
after this.
A hurricane completely within your kitchen?
Yep.
Yep. Can I see it?
You could.
Oh.
If you were here.
Oh, that's true. Yes.
Weed is becoming legal in a few days in Canada, which we discussed before,
Yeah.
but now it's even closer to happening, so I think it's even
Yeah.
more news than it used to be.
Is
Hashtag
everywhere
blaze
in
it.
Canada?
What was that, Ryan?
Is it everywhere in Canada?
Yep, it's a federal thing. I think provinces are free to set limits on that, or even declare that it's illegal within a province, but I don't know if that's actually happening anywhere.
Is it recreational or just medicinal?
Yeah, it's completely decriminalized as far as I understand.
Oh, nice. Congrats, guys. Moving forward in the future.
Yeah. But there are limits, apparently. Like, we got this, like, informational pamphlet from the city here because the city does a lot of municipal regulation, and it's, like, a really, really pot-centric city in the first place. So we got this big, like, info packet, and one of the things is you can only carry, I think it's 30 grams in public or something like that.
That's like,
So there's a lot of, like, strange arbitrary limits.
how does something like that work? Have they about it? They're trying to stalk,
Wait, say that again? Really eat your mic.
Is that hello testing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Does it mean that, like, would that put limits on store level? Like, so the store, if you're an owner.
No, I think stores can buy particular licenses, which is another issue that's come up because that whole system needs to change starting on the 17th. So some stores got some, like, provisional licenses so they can keep operating in the meantime.
Cool.
Oh, so you guys are in like a weed kind of limbo.
Yeah, well, they would be, but at least this city is giving some leeway as far as that goes.
Oh, that's pretty good. We have a problem here in Nevada where technically it was still illegal to sell because no one was handing out any licenses.
Oof.
Oof, yeah.
We have a problem here where it's completely illegal.
That's pretty brutal.
That's not right. You guys even pay more for like video games, and certain video games
Yeah.
can't even make it there?
So
Do
how
you guys
long?
know the price of there? I'm curious.
I'm not familiar. I'm not up to date.
Well, for
Uh,
any listeners who, Rain?
The average, I guess, like if I want to go buy like an Xbox game would be about
Not
$60. Wait, what? Sorry. What?
Wow. Anyhow, actually, video games here are only like $69. Haha.
I think they're like $80 here if you get a new AAA game. But
Damn.
Jess will probably
'Cause-
correct me on that.
Digital for us is 99 cents, which is crazy because why is the physical?
Yeah, that's
Cheaper.
ridiculous.
That's unbelievable.
And then you get a disc as well. What?
Jess says $92 with taxes is what he paid for Mario Party.
That's a Nintendo game, so it's kind of a little bit different. Jess, how much would you pay for, like, say Call of Duty Black just came out? That recent.
I. Same price.
Yeah, ugh.
Wow.
It's
So
awful.
Australia's been pretty good, yeah. Our like GameStop equivalent, EB Games, which I'm banned from. Side note, but they price them at
They're approximately what?
They price them at $99. But
Oof.
then the kind of
$99?
the electronic
But a bitch
stores
ain't
do
one.
$69. Just like JB Hi-Fi.
Also, we have EB here. You don't need to introduce him, or at least we used to.
They actually own EB. Great.
What's happening to your mic?
I believe the hurricane has entered his home.
God, I'm getting 300 ping. It says
Ah.
if it's more than 250, consider asking the owner. I'm the owner.
Well, you
I should say
ask him.
ask your other like people in the server. Ask your
Ask
members if you
yourself.
can switch it.
Yeah, we should have switched this before we started recording.
I'll have it closer, but you might just pick up coughs. So sorry about that.
That's alright. That's better than getting drops, I think.
Anyhow, do you guys have a good segue?
No, I usually just use a
no,
skateboard to get around.
Speaking of new games... Oh wait, no, we're already in the news. Shit. Oh, speaking of spending money on things, let's go to a word from someone who wants you to spend your money on their products.
Do you wish this podcast had better sound quality? Do you wish Ryan's mic could be louder? We've got the product just for you. It's called Keep Adjusting Your Volume and Hope for the Best. If you want to donate to the Ryan Hurricane Foundation, head on over to ryanisstuckinastorm.com.
Alright, welcome back to WAIAAS, the podcast nobody else would do. This is the time in the podcast when we go to community questions, which I don't have up yet, so talk amongst yourselves. I don't know if anyone's even submitted any yet.
We had community questions.
Find out.
You didn't even ask anyone for questions for me.
I left the Google form open. But yeah, nobody knows that it's you, so we'll see if there's anything.
Everyone else has had a lead up to that. You posted,
one person, the one other person, which you haven't even listened to that episode yet, has had a lead up to his.
I actually saw this post too because I love Rain and I follow him.
You follow him everywhere?
Everywhere. Every time that Rain is mentioned.
He just sprints over there.
Yeah, I hear it. It's like in the back of my about Rain, and I just onto this.
Do you also like read my posts on the sub and creep around in there? On other subs too?
No, just WAIAAS. I don't.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't want you looking at my my other discussions.
No, don't think I'm looking at history. That's
we should do that though.
Everywhere WAIAAS related.
Oh, Reddit is WAIAAS related. I feel like that jurisdiction kind of carries everything and encapsulates it.
Well, if you'd like, sure. I'll follow you around and I'll just make side notes about something you've said.
Yeah.
Right,
like how on they... Oh.
Breaker. We have 3 new questions.
Hot.
Are you guys ready for this?
We're never ready for this.
Are you ready, Ryan?
Can you get a clean take on that ready?
Ryan.
Or less.
Our first question is, read this word. URETHRUH.
I don't hear a question.
I don't.
Our next question is, last question?
This is horrible.
This is what you get for trusting the community. I can see why you never go to the sub anymore.
Yeah, this is...
Are you ready for that last question?
Hot question.
Oh, man.
I agree with this question. And this is the podcast Attack Dies.
Yep. BRB just having a little death over here.
Oh, just a little.
God damn.
If you're ready to continue the podcast, cough once.
Oh no, that was 2.
That's 2. Okay, well, we can wait.
Where'd that water go?
Are you? I'm out of water. Are you ready for that last question now?
Yeah.
The last question is, how dare?
How dare?
Well, there you have it, folks. How dare? If anyone listening live wants to ask any questions of Ryan, go ahead and put them in the chat, and I will ask them of him.
Maybe we should try to bank some questions up, get a glass of water so you don't die.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Unless this is the end of the podcast.
No. That's actually a good idea. Rain, do you want to forward those questions on to Ryan?
What questions?
The ones in the VC channel on Discord.
I see nothing. I
see no
questions. Jess is over here trying to get us to cut it.
Yeah, I saw Jess typing, and he's just like, nah, I'm all good.
I don't want to
turn this
shout out to these people listening and haven't asked any questions. We've got Peyton, Tomatoes, and Togo all listening, and Jess. Haven't asked a single question.
I think most importantly,
Jess
who went out of his way to type that he didn't want to ask a question.
Yeah, that's all good.
He put in the extra effort.
I'm here, this will be the shortest podcast, but it's all good.
I mean, depending on the editing, this could still end up longer than the first episode. Whoa, everyone's breaking up.
Oh, I am.
I hear his robot voices.
Yeah.
Welcome to WAIAAS, the podcast only robots would do. The podcast so indiscernible from nonsense that it's just falling apart auditorially. Well, while you're all having this visceral experience of chaos, I guess I'm gonna sign off this podcast. I've been Tag. One of these robot voices has been Rain. The other one has been Ryan. Thanks, Ryan, for guesting. Thanks, Rain, for co-hosting. Thanks, Jess, for all the wonderful editing you're going to do. And
Thank you, Bacon, wherever you are.
Whoa. Rain coming in loud and clear. You guys, you're back.
Yeah.
This is
Okay,
amazing.
that cleared up pretty fast. So let's just keep
Perfect
this
timing.
No, I'm going to finish
keep
this
this rolling
sign-off.
into a sign-off.
Thanks to Rain and Jess for helping me prep this episode. And we're gonna keep on rolling. But goodbye to all the regular people who don't like listening to the long meandering open forum at the end.